Hello and welcome back to my film camera collection, and as always my name is Craig Fowler. That hasn't changed, at least not in my lifetime. Tonight I'm going to sort of go back to my earlier videos because I've actually picked up five new film cameras. Well, by new I mean old. The oldest one is probably over 100 years old. The newest one may be about 20 years old. I'm not sure. But time will tell. I guess I can look it up and find out when it was released. But as of right now, I'm not exactly sure. So I'll start with what turned out to be a heavier camera than I expected. So I don't know what's quite going on here. This little camera I always thought was pretty lightweight. It's probably the very first film camera I ever shot in my entire life. It's what a lot of people started with. It's a Kodak, and it's the Instamatic 104. So this little beauty with the little 4 cube flash that mounts up top up here, and it takes 126 film. I'll pop open the film door. You can see back here, that's the cartridge that goes on both sides and spans across here, that plastic cartridge. I don't have either a blank one or a new one to go in here. You're not getting 126 film anymore, but you can modify 35mm film with a device that takes that film and transfers it into this case. But what you really need is you need the paper backing from an original 126 film so that it protects it, because there's a blank space right here, an opening, that would normally show the count of the film that you're shooting. And if it does that, it also means it's exposing it to the light if there is just film back here. And you don't want that, not if you're taking pictures. So you got to be really careful about that, or it won't work. Small little viewfinder back here, which equates to what you see up top up here from the front view. Here's your lens, and the Kodak markings are over here on this side. Keep forgetting it's reversed. And to actually shoot, you have to advance your film and then press this button. No click. No, I made that fake little click noise. It's probably sounded pretty fake too. But anyway, I gotta take this one apart a little bit and clean it up. I suspect there are batteries in this that have just corroded. It's got a bit of a slimy feel to it on the bottom. But it was in what shocked me was this little plastic hard shell case. Now, I've actually tried to get it back into that case since, and that hasn't worked out so well. It sort of clamps in on either side of this thing. It has this pink or red, probably red originally, sort of foamy stuff on the inside that's breaking down and making a mess on the camera. So I currently have it out of there. And you can see the price on this is $20. That's what I paid. Yeah, I know, probably more than I should have. Probably could have picked one of these up for about $5. But I did like the little case that went along with it. And I picked this up at Jerry's Antiques, which is between Grand Falls, Windsor, and Bishop Falls. And according to Jerry, they're switching from Grand Falls, Windsor to Bishop Falls in terms of paying their taxes. Right now, I think they're separate from any of that. But anyway, so that's my first camera that I picked up. And as I said, I got it for $20. And it is like the first one I ever shot, but we did have the predecessor to this one, the Kodak Instamatic 100 in my household, and it only had a single bulb, a little piece that used to pop up, and you inserted a single bulb and you shot it, and then you waited for that to cool down, or because it was really hot. But once it cooled down, you could remove that single bulb and then put in another one. This one, I guess that's what the 4 represents in the 104 over here, but that is, you know, basically the same camera except for the flash that I can tell. But again, I was kind of shocked because I haven't had a camera such as this one in my hands in quite a while, and it's got a significant weight to it. Not what I was expecting at all. In fact, This little one from God knows what year, I don't know, is a Samsung, and it is a Maxima Zoom 80 Ti. It has an integrated flash, as you can see up here. Not that I can shoot it because I put batteries in it and it didn't make a row of beans worth of difference. It didn't turn on. I suspect this one had battery shortage go throughout, and as a result, it's not going to ever work again. I doubt it very much. This is the opening for the film, and it's an auto load system in this one, I would think. There's a wide angle and telephoto lens. Again, I'd like to be able to turn this on and show you how that comes in and out to describe it, but unfortunately batteries did not work in it. There's a flash on and off button and a power button. And I think I put batteries in. I think I hit the power button, but I guess nothing happened. So, and that, by the way, I picked up in Corner Brook at the Salvation Army thrift store, and it cost me a whole $3. So I'm not out much money if it doesn't ever work, but I do like to pick up cameras that have a future for shooting, just even to try them and see what they're like. When I get into home film development, it'll reduce my costs, and I might slap some film in some of these cameras that I ordinarily would not do that with. Now, the next camera is pretty darn old. In fact, it's probably 100 years old. It is a freebie. I got it for nothing. It has a family history, but not mine. On my wife's family side, I got it through Matthew Shears, a family member, who I think obtained it in my wife's grandfather's cabin that was attached to their house that she grew up in. And I guess it was just kicking around in there. Nobody noticed what it was because it was closed up. I've managed to open it. I've managed to pull it out a little bit because it has bellows, but it's not really the greatest. So I'll show you what I got. It is a Kodak number 2 folding cartridge Hawkeye Model C. Here's this little beauty. I can close it up. That's not a problem. It's just this is not sliding in or out very well. I'm going to leave it out for just the video portion. There's a little leg here that when you lay it flat, it actually is angled flat directly ahead, as long as it's a flat surface, that is. It keeps it level. This is meant to pull out much more than this. There's a couple of markings on the side for distance down here. Maybe a little hard to see. And they are the places where you pull this portion of the camera out. It has a Kodo lens, and there's a shutter right there. And it's that style of shutter that it opens in whatever direction you push it. So basically you take a picture, you advance the film, and you take the next one. It only has 2 settings for timing. It's Instant Eye, which is what it's set for right now, and timed. I can push this over here. Time, which probably would be referred to as, I don't know, maybe like a bold. So you can see that it's open, and it's staying open and staying open until I shut it. I literally have to close it. I can't just let it go. I have to close it. That would be definitely when you have this mounted to some solid surface. It does have a mount for a tripod mount hole, which works well. Although there's supposed to be 2 here, and I only see 1, so I'm not sure where the other one would be located. The viewfinder is up top, so this is sort of like a top-down waist mount camera where you look down into this little lens, and that focuses just above the actual taking lens, and you'll see what's coming, and you can swing it so that it's to the left, and that means you can take it in landscape mode. But again, the mount for landscape mode is not here that I can see. Now there is a hole in the bottom as well, a plate here, which makes me think, you know what? That is, I just figured this out. This, you can see that the leatherette is gone here. It's all metal. That is the mounting for the tripod this way. And yeah, sure, that makes sense. That would be the mounting right here for landscape. Okay. And this camera is dirty, dusty, messy, got to be cleaned up, and I hope to do that. I don't think the bellows will survive. If they do, it will be a minor miracle. But I'm slowly inching it out of the back of the camera. And like I said, you just push it back in. Try to do that carefully here. And you didn't see that, but I pushed it back in off camera. There seems to be a pin missing on this side, and you push down, which I think should be doing on both sides, but it seems to be the pin is missing there. Slide it up and lock it in place. There we go, locked in place. All right, so it's a nice flat featured camera. It was considered like a pocket-sized camera. On the back, the only thing you'll notice is the little window for figuring out what frame you're at on your film. And it's really difficult to read, even in this light. But this is a 120 camera, so it takes 120 film. Use 120 film. It's really hard to pick out here. I doubt very much you're going to see it on the picture. All right, so that was, as I said, a free addition to my collection, and I'm going to try to clean it up and see what it's supposed to look like. Might even find a little bit of leatherette to do the front face of it and clean it up a little bit. But I don't want to do too much with it because it's basically a stored camera in the family. So I'd like to just clean it, but keep it in its original condition, even if it means I can't shoot the thing. So that was picked up in Rocky Harbor from, as I said, my wife's first cousin's son, Matthew. He had it. He had no use for it, so he said, fine. Oh, I do want to demonstrate something else, too. How do you get film in this thing? Well, there's a little slider here. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can see it, but I slid this over into a position where it opens, and then it just pries out of here. Now, it's hard to demonstrate off camera, so, you know, like you said. And this just pulls out. This is the whole bellows lens system all separate. And that leaves you with the empty backing of the camera. There is no... Oh, yes, there is a reel in here. There's a 120 metal reel in here. Right now, it's not on the take-up side because this is the take-up side with your winder for your film. And you do, as you can imagine, have to lift it out of place to put in the roll of film. Push it down, and it only turns in one direction as it should. So that part of it is functioning very well. So in a good way, this camera might have some future in terms of actual use, but it will take a bit of cleanup, and I'll be shocked if I get good results from it, but you never know. All right, so that was the third in our series, which, by the way, going back to this one, this is number 26. This is number 27, that little Samsung. This one's number 28. And our trip to the West Coast, on our return, we went to the Bay Verte Peninsula to Flatwater Pond Park. And there was a gentleman that was selling a Pentax K-1000, not Japanese, because even though he thought it was because of one of the markings on the camera, it's too late in the series, for, based on the serial number, for it to have been made in Japan. And I used to say it was made in Korea, but it's actually made in Hong Kong, and then later they moved it to mainland China. The Japanese and the ones made in Hong Kong all had this little symbol right here on the prism. It's the AOG. It's about, I'm not sure what the A stands for, maybe Asahi, which is also marked here. That's missing, by the way, on the Chinese ones as well, I think. Asahi. Something glass. I'm not sure. Glass organization, but it's out of order. AOG. Anyway, this is a Pentax K-1000, as you can see. It has film in it. It has a lens cover, which I'll take off just briefly to show you the lens. It has a little hood, a little rubber neoprene style hood that pops out for light, right? A light shield, as you can see. On it is the original 50mm lens. I think it's a 50mm lens. It's marked here. Let me just see. Maybe it's actually covered up by this lens hood, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure it's a 50mm lens. Standard lens that comes with the camera. At least it looks it to my eye. It does have film on it. By the way, on the back, you'll see Asahi Optical Company. If this was the Japanese model, the word Japan would be there with that, but it's not. So this is definitely the Hong Kong version. And it did get replaced. It did have some plastic parts replacing some of the metal things that were in the Japanese version, but not a significant amount, not like the made in China later variations. As you can see, it's the K-1000. The shutter, I shouldn't shoot it because it's actually, as I said, it's got a roll of film in here that was in it when I got it. And now that I think about it, I think the film's pretty old. And if he did his job right, he's already set the ASA at 400. But because it's old, I'm going to bring that back to 200 for a few pictures and down to 100. And right now, I think I've got, where's my count on this? I don't know where the count is. I'm sure I've seen it. Oh yeah, here we go. It's on the top of the winder dial. Looks like I'm up to about picture number 13. And I think I know I took a shot out when I picked up the camera, not realizing there was a roll of film in here. So that was just a blur. I don't know what pictures he had on that roll of film, but when I get it developed, I guess I'll know if it survives. That is, if the film is viable for developing. Anyway, I'm going to shoot the remainder on it. I don't know if it's a 24 exposure or 36 exposure roll of film, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to shoot these pictures over the next few days and send it in for processing. Again, I'd really like to be doing other things with this. On the bottom here is your film rewind. So I'm not going to touch that because it'll allow me to rewind the film, and I don't want to be doing that at this point. Over here, you got your mount again. There is a battery in this, but it only serves one purpose, and that is for basically the light meter. So there's a little tiny, when you look through your viewfinder, you'll see a little tiny arm that will go up and down, and there's a notch where you need to keep it. So that means you have to adjust your aperture so that the amount of light coming in will give you proper lighting for your shot. It's a very basic camera, but that's a very nice feature, to be quite honest. This was considered a great beginner's camera and was used in a bunch of different schools over the years as their in-house camera for teaching photography when that was a big deal. There is a spot here to mount a flash, but there's also a flash mount at the top of the camera as well. And this camera, I don't have it with me right now to show you, but it actually came with a telephoto lens, fairly long telephoto lens. Takamura was the brand of the lens, which I think is a Pentax or a Asahi-owned company as well. And it came with a flash that goes with the camera. It was the AF240Z, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think it's autofocus 240Z, and I think about the Datsun car 240Z. So I'm thinking that's the same, and I thought it was kind of odd that it had that numbering. It also came with a camera bag, which is Pentax labeled camera bag, and as well it came with a variety of things, extra film, all the original documentation that came with the camera and the lens and the flash. So all of that came in the package, and I got all of this whole bundle for what I think is a pretty reasonable price, $100. The lens itself, the extra lens, is probably the $50 to $80 lens. And the camera, is $50 to, I've seen it as high as $200 listing. I'd never pay that for. In fact, I saw that for one of the made in China versions, which is not nearly as good. So I'm thinking I did okay, as long as the camera shoots well, and time will tell. And I'll try to put some pictures up when I get them. So I thought that was going to be the last one I was going to show you in this video. But today, really just a day after we got back from our trip, or no, 2 days ago, sorry. 2 days ago, I was conversing with someone who had an older camera, and they had seen my ad looking for cameras, which, by the way, inspired a lot of people to contact me, and some with cameras that I wanted to add to my collection, but mostly without. And this one caught my attention. Again, it's a Kodak. I'll hold it up here. It is a Brownie, number 2 Brownie, model F, if I've got my record straight. I haven't seen any with this sort of rope handle, so I'm not sure if that's an aftermarket thing that someone put on there or if it's the real deal. It has just one single viewfinder at the top, so if you're going to do a landscape, you're not going to be able to tell what's in frame and what's not. So this, to me, makes it an earlier camera. I'm thinking possibly 100 years old plus. It shoots a 120 film. It is marked on the back here. Again, this is really difficult to see. You got to have perfect lighting, and even then it's not easy. But it tells me that it's a 120, use 120 film, Kodak film, it recommends. Eastman Kodak Company, and I think it's the US branded one. And the connections that keep the body together with the rest of the camera are very nice. They're simple. There's a little latch on both that side and that side. You have to let both of them go in order to get the camera apart, which I'll do. Oh, and you do have to have, obviously, this winder pull it out. So I just turned it a couple of times in one direction. Let's see, yeah, everything lets go freely now. Just an empty box on one side. Oh, right here, with that red backing there that allows you to see the number of the film that you're shooting. And this one came with a wooden 120 spool, which I probably won't use because you might never get it back, especially if you put it in the take-up reel position. It could be trouble because, like I said, it might never get returned to you. The lens, as all of these are, very simple inside of here. I don't have the actual measurements, but let me just see. 9 millimeters by, looks like 7 millimeters, or centimeters, sorry. 9 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So it's a fairly big image size. Not as big as the 116 cameras, but it's the standard 120 size. But remember, that depends on the camera. My TLR, my Rolly cord, only does a 6x6, whereas this looks like it does 6x9 maybe. I don't know for sure, but I will check into it. There's no markings, clear markings, anywhere else. Just says made in USA by Eastman Kodak Company, Rochester, New York. That's what's written here. Very difficult to read because, again, lighting is so important in seeing these things. And you don't really have that in video. So I'm going to put it all back together. This camera also cost me $20. And I got a little history on the camera from the woman I purchased it from. It was a camera. Oh, I meant to show this and I forgot. Shutter is real old school. It clicks once when you push it in the upward direction and once when you push it in the downward direction. I do have to clean up the viewfinder and this opening in the front, or I won't be able to see anything with this camera shooting it. And in all likelihood, I'm going to be shooting it in portrait mode like this because there is only the one viewfinder after all. Oh, to get back to the story. The lady who sold me this said that it belonged to her uncle. That's where she got it. And so I paid her $20. I was saying, $10 to $15 is what I would normally pay for something like this. And she said, well, how about 20? And I said, well, okay, that's fine. And she said she was going to spend the $20 that I gave her for the camera to buy flowers for her uncle's grave. And I almost felt like giving her another 20 so she'd get a nice big bunch of flowers for his grave. I didn't, but I did say that I will try to keep her in my contacts because I bought this through Facebook Marketplace. And I'm planning on shooting film in this because it is 120. It should be easy to set up with modern 120 film. And that will be, I will take pictures and share them with her and let her know that they were done with her uncle's camera, which I think is sweet. This lady was definitely my age or older. I'm 60. I would say she's 65 to 70, in that range. Now, I could be wrong about that, but you know, her uncle is getting up there. And this camera, along with the other one I showed you earlier, the other Kodak, the old school one with the bellows, are probably two of the oldest cameras that I have in my collection. And it would be great to shoot both of them. So time will tell on both cases. Anyway, that brings to an end this video of my film cameras. Cheers. Peace.